Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Captain Logan Show. I am Captain Logan, and joining me, as always, is my illustrious producer, Danny Nixon.
What's up, everybody? I'm back with the coolest ugly Christmas sweater ever, and I gotta get the cheap plug-in.
Gonna point it out. I think you're just gonna do this and just be like, is anybody noticing this cool sweater I'm wearing?
It's too awesome not to point out. It's Batman the Animated Series, so I'm going to point it out. But yeah, I got it in today, and I'm loving this thing already, even though it's like 70 degrees in the end of November in Texas.
It's too warm inside to even be wearing that right now. The whole show he's gonna get out a fan in the middle of November.
So normally I keep my fan off when we're recording just because I don't want any of that noise to come through on the mic. But I've got my fan on because it's just gonna be too hot without it, and I don't want to be sweating in this because I plan on wearing this to work tomorrow. Since I'm wearing it for like an hour, it's not gonna be dirty, and I'm not going to smell like my, like the sweater. That's the word I'm looking for. The sweater points out of I don't smell because it's Jingle Bells. I don't smell.
I like how you feel the need to apologize for wearing that sweater the next day. You're like, no, look, everybody, don't worry. I only had it on for an hour.
Oh, if by the slimmest chance that any of my coworkers see this video, I'm going to get so much embarrassment from that.
Is that your biggest fan?
This one right here, yes, it is.
Is it your biggest fan?
It's my one and only fan, actually.
Yeah, yeah. So one of these days we're gonna do an episode of the Danny Nixon Show, and I'll make sure and tell your fan to show up too.
A couple people are asking where I got this sweater, so I'm just gonna do a cheap plug for them. It's numskull.com, NUM skull SKULL.com. They've got this, and they've got a couple other Christmas sweaters, and it's an actual sweater. So cheap plug for them. It's officially licensed, so I don't feel bad plugging them. So that's good.
Yeah, sure. Feel free to plug anything you want to. Yeah. Everybody, thanks so much for being here. It's nice to see everybody. I see a bunch of folks in the comments right now. Guess what? Tonight, as always, I'm going to answer your questions for the next hour. Danny and I are going to chat about whatever you guys would like us to chat about. The super chat is open, so if there's anything you want to make sure that we talk about, and you really want to see your question or comment seen, you want to see it read, make sure and put that in the super chat. And sometimes I get in the middle of a sentence and I'm like, how did that sentence start? Make sure and send a super chat if you want to make sure that happens, and we sure appreciate your support. Danny, I just shot with Eric last week, or I guess Sunday, the latest edition of the Geekvolution Omnibus. It is Omnibus number 20. I don't know how we've done that many, but that's the number, and it will be coming out, if not tomorrow, on Friday. So look forward to that. I was seeing some folks in the comments asking when that's happening, and we review Creed 2 there. I review the new Wreck-It Ralph movie, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and lots of other stuff. So check it out. We do a little bit of Stan Lee Spider-Man on that show. So anyway, that'll be coming out Thursday or Friday, and then incrementally, those episodes, as always, will be going public over the next 3 weeks. Morphin Mania right after this show. If you want to watch some Power Rangers with me and DJ, special guest tonight, Mr. Fusion, will be there. So come check it out. We're going to be watching the last few episodes of season 1. Danny, we're almost done with season 1. We're finally going to get that back 40 knocked out. Those episodes that just shouldn't even exist. And then tonight we also are going to get, I'm so excited. I'm losing my mind about it. We're going to get to finally get started on Lord Zed. The first couple part episode of season 2 with Lord Zed. With his magnificent snake staff. I can't wait. So come and check it out, everybody. Let's go ahead and get right into the questions. Danny, why don't you throw out something pre-written, and then if we get some super chats, we'll start answering those as well. Go right ahead.
All right. The first question of the night from William Parcell. What do you think of what we've seen of the Hellboy reboot so far? I don't see how making it R will make it more successful than the last 2 films.
I don't see how making it R will hurt it in this day and age, though. That would be my rebuttal to that. I don't know that necessarily means more ticket sales, but it may, to the degree, like once we start seeing, trailers and stuff, it may to the degree of there's a fan base now for those kinds of things that wasn't as prevalent when we tried Hellboy the first time around, and people are kind of itching for more you know, hard R superhero stuff, for more Logan and Deadpool and that kind of thing. Those are obviously two very different things, but things just aimed at you know, in a more adult audience. Danny, I don't think R would have hurt Venom. I think they should have done that.
Probably would have helped, because a lot of people I saw were like, "Oh, it's rated PG-13. It's probably going to be super watered down." Well, without any like these were comments I heard from people who may not necessarily have any understanding of Venom outside of the TV cartoon and the movies, saying this, where they just assume that it's Venom, so it has to be rated R to be what it really is, regardless of any source material. So I think being R is going to help its cred with a certain section of the audience.
Yeah, with the fan base. Now, one thing to keep in mind, I mean, I'm saying I don't think it would have hurt it. I don't know that it does any better, because I don't understand how it's done as well as it has. We talk about this on the Omnibus, but $822 million worldwide, that movie. It has beaten every X-Men film. It beat Guardians. I don't understand that. I don't know how it did that well. So you could, and we'll never know, you could make the argument, well, see, Cap, it wouldn't have done that well if it wasn't PG-13. I have a hard time with that. I think, I don't think there were a lot of kids going to that movie. I think it was just a lot of adults coming out of the woodwork. But anyway, to go back to Hellboy, asking what I think of what we've seen so far, I haven't seen a lot yet. I'm not actively seeking that out. People keep asking me about this. Danny, are there just like a lot more like pictures from set and stuff that I don't know about? Like, I've seen a couple of pictures, but or just like plot synopsis things. Like, you know me, I don't like to know too much if I can help it. I'll respond to a trailer when we get it. But
Empire had some new, like 2, maybe 3 new photos that came out last night. So it's topical,
I saw the cover from. Okay, that's why it's coming up. I saw the cover from that issue, but
yeah, it looks good. He looks like
it looks good. It looks like it's going to be more stylized. And that's what you want from that. You know, I expect a lot more, you know, kind of shadow work and that kind of thing. So, yeah, I'm certainly interested in it, but I disagree with the notion that that rated R is a bad thing for that. I think that's certainly probably the way to go. And impressive that what you know, Del Toro did with it didn't feel super watered down. I mean, it was like, what he was making was just appropriate for PG-13. It didn't even feel like he really went in and said, "How do we make this family friendly?" Right? Like, it wasn't a Spawn situation.
Now, excuse me, I don't know if PG-13 hurts it. If being PG-13 could hurt it, or R would help it necessarily, because I don't know if Hellboy. I don't know anything about Hellboy outside of the movies. I don't know anything about the character that would like.
I mean, it's a pretty adult property. It'll go to you know darker and more horror kind of places. But
you can do good horror in PG-13 too.
I think it helps. Yeah, but like, and I haven't read a ton of Hellboy, but some of the stuff I've read certainly is just too disturbing for 13 audiences. But like, it's real pulpy. It's real old school pulpy. But I think immediately that like you can tell with the pictures that I've seen. I haven't seen everything. You can tell with the pictures I've seen and the and that rating, that's gonna separate it out. It's gonna set it apart. It's not gonna be exactly what we had before. And I think that's the best reason to do it that way. But anyway, why don't we go to a super chat and then we can head back to pre-written stuff. Go right ahead.
Our first super chat comes from Thomas Edgehill. He says, with creators retconning their own work, with varying success, I can't speak tonight. When is it acceptable to retcon, and what is some of the best that you've seen and some of the worst, and you rock?
Okay, so hey, thanks. So best and worst, like, when is retconning a good idea? Is that the question?
It's a couple questions. The first is, when is it acceptable to retcon, and then what are some of the best and what are some of the worst retcons you've seen?
Are we just talking about like in films or in television, anything?
I think he doesn't specify, so I think it's just anything. My mind immediately went to film because that's usually where that stuff happens. So.
Sure, yeah. Well, it happens in television a lot as well. So, especially when you have a long-running series that kind of evolves and morphs into something else. So, I am sympathetic to certain retconning, and other retconning drives me absolutely crazy. So, where I draw the line is motive, is the reason that you're doing it. Sometimes a thing will be retconned because it was a really, really bad idea in the first place, and it's unsustainable. So, like, there are some good Star Trek examples of this. Buffy and Angel has some good examples. So I'll throw out a Buffy example. When Spike first shows up, he refers to Angelus as Angelus, and he does it multiple times. And throughout the rest of the series, he's referred to as Angelus, which is just what he would have been called. And so everybody shouldn't be stuck to the initial probably incorrect pronunciation on Marster's part just for the sake of not not going against continuity. That is a minor one, but there are things like that where you shouldn't be stuck with a thing, like pigeonholed like that. And it can suck because you are being inconsistent when you do it. But I think when it's really egregious, and that's fine, I think, for much smaller things. When it's really egregious is when we just go, yeah, we don't like that thing anymore, and let's do this totally other thing with it and pretend like it was always that way all along. So, like, I think sometimes it works to just not even reference it, especially when it's something really small. But, like, retroactively adding to an origin is often usually a really bad idea. Doing something like, I'll go to a Star Trek example, doing something like the Borg Queen, where we really want to give it a face and we want to make it a more worthy as like a big screen movie villain. So we ruin what was cool about it in the first place. I guess as I'm spitballing here trying to answer this question, I guess when it bothers me the most is when it's like somebody else's creative idea on top of a thing that was already a good idea, and then somebody just says, yeah, but I like mine better, and you're like, yeah, but that's not what it was in the first place, and it was fine, it was cool. Like, why again Star Trek, why did we have to take species 8472's teeth away by just saying it was a misunderstanding? It wasn't a misunderstanding. They wanted to purge our reality. No, not a misunderstanding. So yeah, stuff like that. But I don't know, do you agree with me, Danny?
Yeah, I'm a little more lax when it comes to when is it acceptable to retcon. I don't care. I just most often when at least with film and television, I'm like, yeah, whatever, just move forward, type of a thing. There's some that like really irritate me, like Arrow getting off the island before the 5 years.
Yeah,
which I guess isn't really a retcon as much as a let's take this in a new direction. Because
if it ruins the internal logic of it, that's when it's the biggest problem, right? Yeah. And when it's an insult to the audience too. So like I said, that it bothers me most when it's like somebody else coming in. It's not always done that way. Sometimes it's like the people that were making it in the first place have either forgotten what it was or seem to have done that, or they've run out of ideas, so they have to like retroactively change things and mess with stuff. When it gets like really super convoluted, like it's not as big of a deal to retcon a thing that just doesn't matter anymore. But when it's like the crux of the foundation of your story, like what you're talking about, that's a big problem. I don't like the idea that Oliver Queen was off the island and wandering around and sneaking up on people, like,
and being in the same places like Tommy and Thea, and just never saying anything because
sneaking around. Yeah, really? He like so he already knew where all these people. You didn't get that sense at the beginning, so it just kind of ruins what was there already. Yeah, I don't mean to be such a stickler. As I always say, I don't care as much about continuity as I do good storytelling. But sometimes, like retconning like that is just plain bad storytelling.
Yeah.
When you're building on what was there before. But anyway, yeah, no, that kind of thing can absolutely drive me crazy. But again, sometimes I think there's stuff that you shouldn't be stuck with when it was just a poor idea in the first place.
What do you consider best and worst retcon? Like examples of it.
Oh boy, right off the top of my head. I mean, like I said, retroactive or origin stuff. Spider-Man 3 is one of the most egregious. Just the idea that here's like it was actually the Sandman. You have this convoluted thing where it wasn't just the simple killing. When it's something really simple like that, and then we go, oh, it's all got to be like a real complicated conspiracy.
Yeah, it's all got to be intertwined, be circular. It's all got to have meaning behind it instead of just being a random act in that case.
That's when it drives me absolutely nuts. I would have to really scratch my head to think of a really good retcon. Do you have one?
Yeah. Not a good one. The worst one, in my opinion, is Laurie Strode being Michael Myers' sister.
Oh yeah, sure.
That's probably the worst.
It's awful.
Best. Oh man,
like
when you think, I don't know, maybe the best ones don't ever feel like a retcon because they're done well and they're properly executed, and it doesn't feel like you're retconning certain continuity as much as you're like adapting, or I guess changing would be retconning. But I don't know, you never think of those as retcons. It's kind of like it's only a retcon if it's bad type of a thing.
No, that's true. I can't think of a time where it's like we just straight up said it wasn't that way and at all, and it's a good thing that we went that way. Again, I'll go to a Star Trek example. It was pretty clear. This is more retroactive changing before it's retconning. It was pretty clear in Q Who that the Borg aren't assimilating people; they're just assimilating technology. They're way more interesting if they're assimilating people.
Yeah, so that's where you get like the best TNG episode, isn't it? Where they're assimilating an actual person.
Yeah.
With Picard, so
yeah, exactly. No, they changed that, and they needed to. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But no, that would make a really good GNN topic. I would need to rack my brain a little bit. Let's do some more pre-written, and then let's do one pre-written, and then get back to the super chats. I see a few of those.
All right, I'll scroll up to the beginning. Anime 2018 says, "Hi, Cap and Danny.
Hi there.
Who are your favorite Batman and Joker voice actors, not counting Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill?"
Sure, good question. The best Joker voice actor for me, apart from Mark Hamill, would have to be, I'm blanking on his name. The guy who he'll come to me. The guy who the guy who played Ben and Linus in Lost and voiced him in Dark Knight Returns. That's a chilling performance. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I was also going to go with the Batman for Peter Weller.
Yeah,
Dark Knight Returns. And yep. Who is it who does the voice in the Batman? I just love that
Diedrich Bader. Is that his name?
For the Joker?
Oh, I think you meant for Batman.
No, the Joker in the Batman. I really love that voice.
That's funny because I think Eric really dislikes that one, but I can't remember. Yeah, Michael Emerson. Thank you. Kevin Michael. Oh no, I'm sorry. I was thinking Brave and the Bold. Yes, that is Kevin Michael Richardson. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep, he's great. Because you said a thing, so I want to say something different. Because I'm with you. I like that Batman voice a lot too. I like we're talking about so many different things tonight. Names aren't coming to me. What's his name? The guy who played Pike in the 2009 Star Trek movie, who voices him in a couple of different places. He's really good. And I also really like the voice in New Frontier, that 50s Batman. That's a good one. He's really good too. Okay.
Someone will mention John DiMaggio. Oh, that's a good Joker, John DiMaggio.
Yeah, DiMaggio's a good Joker. Yeah. What, Red Hood? Yeah, Bruce Greenwood. Thank you.
All right, jumping back into the super chats. Andrew Follett says, "Have you seen the deleted scenes for The Incredibles 2? One is a memorial service for Gazer Beam as an alternate opening." That's an interesting opening.
That's interesting. I only saw that movie one time. Does that have enough to do with what's going on in that movie? That you'd have a funeral for that character? I gotta go back and look at it.
Can't remember. Honestly.
Yeah, honestly, that movie's not sticking with me real hard. It was solid. It was all right, but it wasn't, the memorable film that first one was. No, I've not even bought that yet, which tells you how, again, I liked it fine, but I didn't rush out and grab it. I will get that soon, but no, I've not looked at those yet.
All right, the next super chat from Super Nerd. How would you react to having a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? There are internet personalities with stars, and I think you deserve one.
Oh, I appreciate that. No, I would lose my mind because I only have 30,000 subscribers and nobody knows who I am. So yeah, that would never happen. See, I didn't. But if you
can pay for one and they'll put you on there if you're
weird. Okay,
that's how it works. Is you just pay for it and you get put on there.
If somebody else paid for that, I would thank them profusely and then hope I could afford the plane ticket to go. But no, I didn't realize all that. The first thing I thought of was well, I would lose my mind because I'm not even an actor.
You have to have a certain level of celebrity.
I would be so surprised.
You gotta pay for your spot on there.
Yeah, so they wouldn't even let me have one, right? They'd be like,
I don't know.
that guy's such small potatoes. Who's that guy? No,
30,000. That's chump change.
Yeah, no, I'm seriously, I am just a guy. But that would be, that'd be cool if I thought I had done anything at all deserving of that, but no. Anyway, what else?
All right, from sticking with the super chats.
Yeah.
Katie Goober.
Hi there.
What Disney film would you like to see a live action remake of? I like Hunchback. Finding Nemo. We're sticking with the live action that's just another CGI movie, which I guess that one's got human characters, so it's a little less egregious.
No, look, Danny, we went and we shot the water, okay? We filmed the water, and, I thought that's how we were going to get away. I'll answer that question in a minute, as soon as I stall for a little bit while I try to think of an answer. I thought we were going to answer that question, like how in the world do you count this as live action, by shooting everything on location? Having only looked at that teaser one time for Lion King, it looks like all the locales are also done in a computer.
Yeah, it was a bunch of B-roll to go get like a sense of the landscape and everything, so you've got reference for your CG models. It's all just computer generated from what I've seen.
I don't know what entirely the point of that is. And then I said that to Eric, and he goes, well, it's not like there is a Pride Rock. Like, you would have to build that in a computer. But, like, I told Eric, I said, I bet you, and he did not take this bet. Before we watched that teaser, I'll mention this for a second in case anybody cares about me talking about this. And we talk about this on the Omnibus too, but I want to mention this because I think it's funny. I told Eric, I was like, we were just about to watch the teaser together, and I said, I bet you $50 this teaser is going to open with and he would not take that bet because we both knew I was right about it. And it's pretty much just the trailer for that movie.
I think
the original movie. Like, it's that trailer. And I don't understand the point, man. It made me appreciate that animation even more, because I'm like, what they did in 94 is so photorealistic. This is pointless.
I agree. I think this one, I'm not going to say that the like live action adaptation / reboot trend that Disney's going on is a waste of time, because I think there's merit to it. This one feels like they're banking so much on nostalgia.
It's just a cash in. It seems like, no, I mean, like, I'm curious to see what ultimately they put together, but if it's not basically a shot for shot remake, I'll be really surprised. Just like just done in a, in 3D animation.
Honestly, I think that's the best way to do it. Just make it a shot for shot remake in live action, so you can experiment with the technology all you want to do. That's like the only merit I see to it of doing that, because I can always go back and watch the original.
Yeah, David, I know it's not right away that song, but it's pretty early on. It's pretty quickly we get to that. Anyways, live action movies that they haven't done yet, I just keep thinking of ones that I don't know how they do. That it would like, how do you do Lady and the Tramp? They're gonna do that. How do you do that?
I'd like one where it's super stripped down, low budget, and it's just people in dog masks eating spaghetti.
Yeah, and they're like Oliver and Company. That would be really weird. Like, don't do that. But yeah, there aren't a whole lot left that are like mostly human characters that I would really want to see them attempt. Do you have anything? Is anything coming to you right away? I mean,
my first thought was 101 Dalmatians, and I was like, they already did that, so never mind.
They did. You could do it better, but yes, that's been done already. I think Little Mermaid was announced, and that would have been the one I would say. Like, I can't think of any they haven't already announced that I would actually want to see done. Is she still attached? At one point, Chloe Grace Moretz was attached to that, but I don't know if she's still doing it.
I have no idea. That's good casting, though.
Yeah, it is. But I think I heard that she left it, but I can't remember now. It's been a while. So anyway. Yeah, I don't have a great answer. A lot of people are talking about Lilo and Stitch and stuff. But again, we can't come up with things that they haven't already announced that don't sound impossible.
Lilo and Stitch would be really cool in that like Pokemon vein.
Grainy Child said they've announced that already. I mean, like, I can't come up with anything. But yeah, the thing about Hunchback is if you're going to do Hunchback of Notre Dame, don't do the Disney version, because if you're gonna do that in live action, it would be really weird to water it down and try to make it a family film like they did. Like there's some really like creepy, haunting stuff in that movie. Like the tone is right, but in that story, everybody dies. And they didn't do that in a Disney movie, you know? So like if you're gonna, I'm sorry, what?
I said spoiler alert.
So if you, yeah, but not for the Disney movie though. Just that
I know. I'm just
everybody dies. Yeah, it would be really silly, I think, to make Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame, live action movie. But yeah, they're making everything. Like people keep bringing up stuff that I totally forgot that they had announced. I agree with people that have said that it's a mistake to put out Aladdin and Lion King in the same year because Lion King that trailer got hit so hard it broke viewing records and stuff. It's gonna completely eclipse Aladdin.
Yeah, give Aladdin a year, make it an annual thing like you're doing with Star Wars, where you put out one a year.
Yeah. Yeah, and is that going to be 3 next year? Because we're also getting Dumbo. Is that the end of this year or is that next year? Because if that's not till next year, we're getting 3 of those next year. Unless one of those 2020 and I don't know about it.
I have no idea.
Okay, well, anyway.
Game Station 3, I guess he's talking about the retcon.
Yeah.
No, he's talking about this one because we were talking about reboots. He says stories have been retold since the beginning of time. And yeah, that's a fair point. It's just I don't necessarily see.
I'm not saying that none of these should be made. I adored, for the most part, Beauty and the Beast. But I think you gotta bring something a little bit new to the table. I don't agree with people that say that it's exactly the same thing as stage because you can go back and rewatch it. Like once it's there already, unless it's just really super dated and there's a good reason to update it. And in my opinion, the only time that it makes a lot of sense to update a thing if it feels really dated is because of references and things that really only spoke to people of that day at all.
See, I kind of disagree.
Yeah.
I there are certain things that I see as like cinematic classics, like going back to like Universal Horror. Yeah. Like characters like that we just kind of like basically all public domain characters that have just kind of existed and we always have a version of. I really like the idea of retelling that story every so odd amount of years after like tastes have changed, filmmaking has changed, pacing has changed. I like the idea of like you've kind of like
that's what I'm saying. If it's really dated, but then some things just stand the test of time. Like there is no reason to ever remake It's a Wonderful Life. Like just don't do that.
Yeah, fair point. Very, very fair point. Because there are certainly some films that are like well past like what we would consider like modern pacing, modern sensibility as far as filmmaking goes. That I don't know if they necessarily need one, but I'd still think
Day of the Earth Stood Still. We tried that, and it's bad for a lot of reasons. It's not bad just because it was done. It was made like that could have been done well, I suppose. But I think a lot of the things that stand the test of time are things that even hold up pacing wise, where you're like, oh, there is almost like a universal way to pace a movie that has kind of transcended time. I'm not saying that it's never a good idea to have really fast pacing or really deliberate slow pacing, but when you like the 2 examples I just brought up, Danny, those movies could be paced exactly that way now. The reason you wouldn't want to remake them is because they have stood the test of time. If they make you bored, it's because you're not paying attention or you just don't like those kind of movies, right?
Right.
But you get experimental periods and stuff where in the 70s we just kind of slowed everything down, or at least a lot of things. But this is obviously pretty subjective. You and I could argue all day long about which things are worthy of being remade and which things should never be touched. I don't think we're always going to agree on that. But
no, I think you'd have a hard time getting 2 people to sit down in a room and agree on 5 movies that should not be should just never be touched. Everyone's gonna have that one where well, yeah, I could see it being redone. I think it's just something that ultimately comes down to everyone's individual taste. I'd love to see Scarface get remade.
Well, I was actually going to bring up Scarface and say, remember that the version everyone knows is a remake in the first place. And I've seen the original, and I bet there were film fans at the time when Scarface came out that were like, why would you ever remake that? It's a classic. And it's really good and it holds up really well. And so, yeah, no, it's really hard to tell where that line should be drawn. Let's talk about something else, shall we?
All right, I'll jump into a pre-written question real quick. William Parcell says, do you think the Celestials will ultimately be the big villains after of the entire MCU after Thanos?
The Celestials? I mean, I don't know, honestly. I have no idea.
It'd be weird
I would be surprised if they went with that.
Yeah, it would be kind of weird to make them the big bad threat after our first introduction was there's like a seedy underground black market based inside of a celestial skull. Like, you kind of defeated the threat a little bit right there. It's like one of them's already a skull floating in space that we haven't heard about yet. Why should we care about these other ones?
Well, I don't know about that because like Peter Quill's dad was the Celestial and they tried to make him a big scary bad guy. So I don't think that's the problem. It's just I'm also not totally sure if they know those are supposed to be the same species or if they are the same species or anything. I'm not completely sure that maybe there's a big C and a lowercase c. I'm not sure.
It's like Native Americans and people from the country India. You've got two different Indians. You've got two different Celestials.
But no, I don't see those being the big bad. I think it would be, and also I think it would be a mistake to just keep trying to get as like bigger and bigger and bigger and more cosmic. You can tell more cosmic stories, and I don't want to sound hypocritical because I don't think Infinity War goes cosmic enough. I think there are a little bit of trepidations of that with general audiences getting confused about some of these like big ideas, but I think we need to go back and forth. I think we need to, be able to do some smaller stuff and some bigger stuff. And I don't know that every giant threat needs to be like, an infinity level. Even the giant threats, I don't know that necessarily like whatever is if we do another something's in the background thing, I don't know that you want to make it that level cosmic. I'm not saying it can't be done well. But if it is cosmic, it should be something quite a bit different.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if like the next like big seeded threat that we're building towards is something completely Earth-based? It's like some like secret society type of thing while they're all out in space fighting some cosmic event.
Yeah,
sure. Flip the Thanos thing on its head where it's the big cosmic threat coming, and now it's like they're so distracted that this thing happening on Earth is allowed to like kind of fester under the surface and boil up. I think that'd be a really cool way to go and kind of flip the entire superhero shared universe genre on its head. I think that's a genre yet.
I didn't think of this. Is it plausible, especially given what we're getting from Fox, and obviously this is real. This is just real guesswork on my part, but is it possible that the next big thing is alternate dimensions? That we finally do the Elseworlds Crisis kind of thing?
Boy, it'd be weird if Marvel beats DC to the alternate dimension thing after they've already beaten
we've already established it in Doctor Strange. We just haven't used it yet.
Sure, but
that seems like the natural next place to go. They're not going to beat them there if Wonder Woman does Flashpoint like people think it's going to. But
good, yeah, and it'd be a really easy way to tie in the X-Men and kick Inhumans out of your continuity.
And I'll say I still have it on good authority that that's what they're doing and that Patty Jenkins is freaking out about it and like almost wanted out of that movie, but I don't know how much stock to take in that. Man,
how dumb do you have to be to almost kind of like
to mess with her? To mess with her movie?
The one haven't put out a good movie. I haven't seen anything about Aquaman.
No, Aquaman,
Aquaman. The one person who did some good for that has pretty much universal goodwill among fans, both DC fans and just movie fans in general. You're going to mess with her movie. Couldn't mess with the Snyder movie again. Couldn't mess with whatever. I'm not getting into that. I'm probably not going to go see Wonder Woman 84 on opening weekend. So that should tell y'all something about me as the massive DC fan who's got the BVS poster hanging on my wall.
Oh, but like even if they mess with it, I feel like I owe it to Patty Jenkins because she gave me such a good experience the first time around. I went to that movie and didn't even want to be there, and it was like the quickest turnaround I've ever had on a thing. I don't know, like I want to support her in that movie, or at least support her regardless. I have a lot of respect for that director.
Oh, I'll just watch Wonder Woman. on my Blu-ray player.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, that's that's supportive. Yeah, sure, you bought that. Yeah. All right, what else?
All right, our next super chat is from Super Nerd. He says, "Have you seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang? It's brilliant."
Oh, I'm sorry. Thanks so much for the super chat. I don't have an interesting answer because I've not. I'm sorry. I've never seen that movie. Have you seen that movie, Danny?
No. And at first, when I read that, I was thinking, is he talking about Comedy Bang Bang or whatever it is? It's on IFC. I was like,
no, I know what that is. I've just never seen it. No, sorry about that.
No, I haven't seen it either. Let's scroll up.
I get the feeling sometimes that a lot of and I've never professed to be like a movie buff. A lot of our viewers, I think, know film way, way, way better than I do.
Super Nerd says it's made by Shane Black. That I thought that's who made it. Eric's definitely.
No, he has. Eric talks about it all the time. I've just never seen it.
All right. It looks like we're caught up on Super Chat. So
okay, let's go back to the phones.
I was going to make a 66 joke, but I couldn't remember what exactly Gordon says when he calls Batman. Blue Dragon 5. Perfect.
I'm going to the phones. Sorry.
Hey, Cap. Blue Dragon 5 says, "Hey, Cap, did you watch the Christmas Chronicles movie on Netflix with Kurt Russell yet?"
No, I don't know what that is.
They've been pushing it like crazy. It's the first thing you see when you open
weird.
Up. Yeah. Well,
you know what? Now that you say that, yeah, I did see an advertisement for that, I guess. But I didn't actually sit through it, so I forgot that was a thing. Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Is it supposedly good? Is it any good? Is it worth watching? Should I watch that movie? Or is it a show? What is it? I don't know what it is.
I think it's a movie. And apparently, I don't know if this was someone making a joke or if this is serious, but I saw something about a Netflix Christmas cinematic universe, and I hope that's not happening.
The Netflix Christmas cinematic universe. Well, I hope they don't make the Star Wars mistake of putting out two movies like 6 months apart from each other, because that would be even stranger with the Christmas cinematic universe.
The only Christmas movie I want Netflix to put out is something entirely in Wookiee.
Well, that's only a thing that you release on April Fool's Day, I would say. All right, let's have some more questions, folks.
All right, from DJ Martinez.
Hi, DJ. DJ, why are you asking me questions, dude? I'm gonna see you in like half an hour. we're gonna shoot some Morphomania, me and DJ. By the way, I want to apologize to DJ for not telling him about our special guest tonight. He in the comments was, "Oh, I didn't know that. That's great. Yeah, special guest. I'm the co-host. Cap didn't even tell me about that. Sorry about that, DJ. I forgive my unprofessional behavior.
Cap keeps everybody out of the loop. He doesn't want everyone to know too much.
I used to be incapable, or you say?
What's the line from Black Widow in Winter Soldier? Or no, it's Fury about compartmentalization.
Compartmentalization, yeah. I used to be, I'll tell you a quick story. I used to be really, really bad at keeping secrets. And now I've gone almost the other direction where I completely just forget to even tell people things I should tell them, because I got really good at keeping secrets, not telling people about big projects that were on the horizon, as more and more I was doing things that I didn't want people to know about. So like when we were working on Spawn Year, there was a lot of things I couldn't tell people about. And that all started when I was very nearly on a reality TV series called King of the Nerds. And I wasn't allowed to tell anybody about it while I was while I was going through the hoops to try to be on that show. And I've done a video about this. You can go check it out. But back in 2012, I flew out to Hollywood and I was supposed to be on the show. And there were like 13 of us and they picked 11. And I was one of the 2 that they didn't pick. And I was in the earliest running for that. Like I got a call from Hollywood a year before that happened, and I was jumping through hoops that whole time, and all these things you have to fill out paperwork and doing like going to the doctor and all these different things. And anyway, I ultimately didn't make the show, but for all that time I wasn't allowed to talk about it at all. And so anyway, I just got really used to not talking about stuff, and I think it's become kind of a bad habit for me, Danny, where I forget that I haven't even told people things that they need to know. What was Danny's question? What was DJ's question? What's your question, Danny?
I don't have a question. DJ says, Sticking with the Netflix shared universe topic, what are your thoughts on? And this is from earlier before we even mentioned this, so this wasn't just him making a joke.
Oh, weird.
What are your thoughts on Netflix's Netflix upcoming Roald Dahl shared universe?
Wow. I'm trying to get that out of my mouth a little bit. Netflix I didn't know about that. So
I didn't either.
I don't know what my feelings are on it. I cringe every time I hear shared universe. I wish. Is this even possible? Is this asking for too much? Is this unfair? Sometimes I wish that everybody would do what Marvel did, put out a movie. And I mean, like, I think before, it's hard to put myself back in this place now. It feels like a million years ago. But before Iron Man came out, I think we all, those of us paying attention, I think there was already talk about Avengers and that they wanted to do a bunch of movies in the same universe. But by and large, a lot of people, like most people, went and saw an Iron Man movie. And weren't, oh man, Avengers is coming. We didn't have that yet. Now we've got to wear that strategy on our sleeves so much. I think sometimes that can hurt it a little bit, where it's so ambitious and so many companies have failed at trying it. Everybody's saying, yeah, sure, your shared universe. You're going to put out 2 movies, maybe, and then nobody's going to ever see anything you put out again. Or you're the second one's going to flop, or the first one's going to flop. In the case of Dark Universe, you realize that Alex Kurtzman has attempted 2 shared universes and they've both completely fallen apart before they even got off the ground? Like, just don't say it anymore. Make a movie, and if people like it, make another movie. That worked for the whole Annabelle thing, right?
Yeah, Conjuring just started off as a horror movie,
and
it got really successful.
Here's this thing we're making. It's a horror film. It's called The Conjuring. It's based on a true story, and it's going to be the beginning of a shared universe. Just don't say it. Just make a movie.
I don't know about it.
Put out other things in that continuity. What do you mean? We've done the original shared universes. The original shared universes were called spin-offs, Danny. Yeah. They start with sitcoms. I think probably they start with sitcoms. I don't know if we had any spin-offs before sitcoms. And dramas were doing them. And, 60s and 70s. Maybe it wasn't until the 70s that we started trying a lot of No, as early as the 50s and 60s, right? Because you've got spin-offs of the Andy Griffith Show. But anyway,
I was about to say, yeah.
You do spin-offs, and then those are now shared universes. And nobody started a sitcom and said, this goes well, it's going to be a shared universe. Like, just spin things off. Star Trek's one of the original major shared universes.
So the next spin-off in the MASH shared universe is going to be in the Gulf War.
Arrow. Arrow is a shared universe.
Yeah.
And they didn't start off, to their credit, I don't always say a lot of really super nice things about the CW shows, but to their credit, they made a show, and then it worked and was popular, and so they made more shows. And now they have a shared universe.
Maybe it's just me. I find there's more novelty in just a movie that's just a movie and not part of any spin-off.
Yeah,
I get more excited about it. It's like, sweet, I don't have to follow this movie and then try to keep up with what's going to be connected.
That is novel. How refreshing is it to go, wow, I can just talk about this and I don't have to worry that the next one's going to ruin things that I liked about it, or that I'm going to turn out to be wrong about the way I interpreted things in this movie.
Yeah, I can't wait for the day where it becomes a novelty, where now for Marvel, it's going to be the novelty when Marvel Studios puts out the one movie that's not connected to anything else, if they ever do that. But I'm kind of looking forward
to Big Hero 6 was that way.
Yeah, but that's animated, so it's kind of sort of different.
I know, but still, for those of us that knew that was based on a comic book, we're like, oh wow, they made a thing based on a comic book. That's not in the MCU. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'll be really excited when we get the news of the Batman or the Superman movie that's just standalone. I'll be so happy for that. I just want something that just stands on its own.
I have an idea. Can I pitch you something?
Yeah.
I just thought of this. This is probably stupid. I'm gonna say it anyway. Can I pitch you an MCU movie that would simultaneously, and please don't franchise this if this were to happen, but that would simultaneously be squarely in that universe and be all about the continuity, but be a standalone thing that doesn't have to deal with anything else. Make an in-universe documentary.
Yes. What's the comic? Is it just called Marvels?
Yeah, Marvels. Yeah, that would be a thing to look at. You couldn't straight up adapt it, but that would be a thing to look at.
No,
you could also do this with damage control.
I'm not familiar with that.
And they bring up damage, and that was supposed to be a sitcom for a while, and that didn't end up happening. They bring up damage control, Danny, at the beginning of Spider-Man: Homecoming. But damage control is the people that come in and pick up the rubble and fix everything.
Oh,
and superheroes have big fights. You could do a documentary about that.
Yeah, kind of
Do that in a documentary style. Yeah,
kind of the Powerless of DC that went for like 5 episodes.
It was like 8.
I like that first episode.
About that show, the first episode was really good. Adam West was really funny in his appearance. It didn't air. You had to go watch that online, but I did. Of course. But it had a really good intro. I will give it its intro.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would have liked to have seen more of that.
I'm gonna have to do a rewind on that series at some point.
Yeah. We've got a super chat. I'm going to scroll up, make sure I didn't skip.
Hey, cool. Thanks, person who left a super. God, I just really got on my soapbox for the shared universe thing. I was like, I got all fired up about that. I was like, volume.
It's a rant without the GNN.
Yeah.
Grady Child.
And now let's go on to GNNs.
Grady Child says, Cap, what did you get on Black Friday? I personally got myself a 55-inch 4K smart TV for $248, Wonder Woman 4K/Blu-ray, and a $20 scanner and printer.
Oh,
awesome.
Cool. Now, did you get a $20 scanner and printer, or did you get a scanner and printer that's worth a lot more than that, but you paid $20 for it?
I got a $10 one for $20.
I wouldn't want to buy I wouldn't want to buy a $20 scanner printer. That sounds like not a lot of value. I didn't get any like cool technology or anything like that for Black Friday. I did buy a lot of Christmas presents with Black Friday sales that were before Black Friday, because we saw a lot of that this year. But you guys really want to see what I got?
Yes, I can.
Do you want to see the thing I bought for me on Black Friday? I showed this off on the Omnibus too, but it's not posted yet. You guys want to see it? Do you want to see a sneak peek?
They can't speak, but I'll say yes for them.
I'm gonna have to get up and go get it. Okay, I'll be right back. You guys give me a second. If you guys want to see it, I will show you the thing I bought for myself on Black Friday. It's preposterous. It's absolutely preposterous. All right, I'll be right back. Hold on.
Okay, so I'm going to try to not make this a whole bunch of dead air, but this Christmas sweater was the closest I got to like a Black Friday thing, because I refused to go shopping on Black Friday.
Okay, right? This was my Black Friday purchase. Could you see that?
I didn't see it. I was trying to fill dead air so it wasn't just complete awkward silence.
This was my Black Friday purchase.
Oh, you've got an actual Jurassic house now.
I bought a giant stuffed Velociraptor. This is Blue from Jurassic House. She is usually $50. I got her on sale for $25. And I just could not pass that up. So I bought this. Yeah, it feels life size. And you know what? This probably is. This probably, yeah, it's giant. This probably is life size for what the actual dinosaur was sized. For Jurassic Park, it's a little small. But yeah, I got Blue, you guys. Look at her. Isn't she great? I freaked out my dogs with this. Like, look at her hands. I put her in the shopping cart. She was like holding on to the shopping cart.
Rockman LP says now for a giant stuffed penny.
Yeah, I need to get a giant penny in this Batcave. But anyway, yeah, I haven't found a place. This was completely impractical. This was such a dumb thing to buy. I don't have a place for it. I don't know what I was thinking, except I love Velociraptors, and I've always wanted to like start a Velociraptor collection, but I don't have a place to put it.
That'd be big. That'd be hard because Velociraptors are pretty big to collect, and I think they're all extinct, so it'd be hard to collect a whole bunch.
Yeah, but I want them. I want all the Velociraptors. I especially want a Utah Raptor, but anyway, so yeah, this is what I got. No, I freaked out my dogs. I took the Blue and I went like around the corner and you couldn't see my hands. I was just like messing around with my wife and I put it around the corner like this. And the dogs for a minute, I think, thought it was a real animal. They just started barking at it. It was or like growling. I think Apollo just started growling at it. It was really funny. Anyway. So, yeah, that was the thing I bought on Black Friday. Okay, how much time do we have? Maybe 10 minutes or so? 10 minutes!
Before we get to the next question, Gerson Gavazzi has a great comment. He says, full name is Blue dabba dee daboo doo da 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 dee
Dabba-dee, dabba-da, but yeah, now I'm having Iron Man 3 flashbacks.
All right, I'll find some more pre-written questions real quick. Let me scroll back up. And
I have a girlfriend, and she is so blue.
Cinematographic says, "Hi, Captain Logan.
Hi!
What are your thoughts on Ewan McGregor playing Roman Sionis / Black Mask?"
Oh yeah, that's great casting. I'm really excited about it. I'm sure I've seen him play a bad guy before, maybe, but I can't think of anything. And if so, it's been a long time. So I'm kind of excited just to see him play bad. And that casting is exciting because I really liked Christopher Robin, and that's like the complete opposite. So that's good. That's gonna be a lot of fun. But no, it's cool that they're doing Black Mask, and yeah. I guess I haven't even talked about that. I keep forgetting. I think I forgot to write that news down when, doing the captain's log. So anyway,
I thought that was fan casting. I didn't realize that was an actual casting.
No, that's happening. Yeah, we've known that for a little while now. Yeah,
shows how much attention I'm paying, and I'm the DC fan.
Danny, I'm gonna need you to pay more attention to things so that I don't have to. That's the job of the producer and chat moderator. The only thing I'm supposed to do is show up. Okay, that's it. That's all I have to do.
I keep up with it, so you don't have to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kellen O'Rourke says, "Cap, why do you hate the Jim Carrey Grinch movie?"
Well, it's been so long since I've seen it. I honestly don't remember. No, I'm kidding. It has been a million years since I've seen it because I don't like it, so I don't want to have to actually go back and sit down and watch it. It was way too long. It's I didn't think a lot of it was funny. Jim Carrey, as as always, is brilliant with what he does with it, but I don't think he has the script to back him up. And there were things about that I remember feeling a little bit mean-spirited and cynical, but it's been so long now I can't tell you what it was about it. But I think it's just not good. I don't know.
All I remember of it is like when he interrupts the ceremony, and I guess he falls on the woman, and it's just his face and her breasts, and they do that gag. That's all I remember, and I just don't care for it. I'd rather watch the cartoon that they did.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. It felt overblown to me, and I'm still not convinced that that's a story that you can stretch to an hour and a half. That's part of it. I'm not convinced there's an hour and a half of story there.
And I haven't seen the newest animated one, so who knows? Maybe there is, and they cracked the code for that.
There's no way. I've seen the advertising, and I don't like to base things too much on trailers, but we have seen the house that Illumination has built, and it is not a place I even want to visit. I want to boycott Illumination in the same way I wanted to boycott DreamWorks back in the day, and DreamWorks has gotten classier, and I will see a thing of theirs if I hear good things about it. Not that I've watched a lot of their more recent stuff, but yeah, honestly, if they make something that people tell me is not horribly crass and insulting to children, fine, I may take a look. But right now, I don't usually say things like this, Danny, but screw Illumination right now, man. I'm really irritated with them. I don't like what the kinds of stuff they're putting out for kids right now. It's just how I feel about it, you guys. It's how I feel about it. I watched Despicable Me and Despicable Me 2. I thought they were okay. Minions was awful, but not insulting in the way that the things they're making right now seem to be. I don't just zero of them.
I hate those stinking Tic Tacs.
AMA 2018 wants to know if I'll see the new Grinch film. No, I won't. I'm just not going to do it.
I accidentally skipped over.
Blue Dragon 5 says he was shocked that it's not nearly as bad. But see, I don't want to see a thing based on not as bad as you thought. Iron Fist Season 2 was not as bad as people thought, but it was still totally not worth my time.
Hey, Cap, this arsenic is not as bad as cyanide. It might be a little extreme of an example, but I accidentally skipped over a super chat from David Crabtree, so I'll go back to that. Sorry, David. He says, Morphomania has really gotten me back into Power Rangers. I've actually been going ahead, and I'm almost finished with Zeo, which is quite enjoyable.
Wow, cool. Zeo's one of my favorites. It's wild to think of anybody watching Morphomania and then spending more time to watch Power Rangers beyond it. Because David's there. I don't think David's missed one, and I'm not sure, but I don't think he's missed one. And that's already a lot of hours of Power Rangers.
Yeah, how many episodes did I watch when I joined in for those few. Was it 6 episodes in total, or was it just
6? Yeah, we do. We batch shoot, and we do 3 shows with 2 episodes a show, except for the occasional 3-parter where we'll do more. Yeah,
that is not a show that binge watches well. I will say that.
No, but I've become very immune to it. I really have. Okay, guys, we've got 6 minutes.
All right, MattBoy52. Have you seen Movie Bob's analysis on BVS? While it's 4 hours long, it's really interesting. If nothing else, watch the 3rd part, which talks about Snyder's direction and adaptations.
Wow, I don't think I'll even do 4 hours on BVS. But no, I've not.
Cut.
I haven't. I've never watched his stuff, so no, I've not.
Oh, sorry. Someone had just made a comment about Movie Bob, and I was trying to see if it was related to this in any way, but it was on a different subject. Oh,
sure.
Actually,
that is a YouTube channel I've heard of, and I know people like him, and he's popular. I don't know anything about him.
All right. William Parcell says, do you think X-Men and mutants in general work better in their own universe, separate from the main Marvel continuity?
Yeah, I've answered this before. Generally speaking, they do. I think during the Marvel Now era in comics, they were doing a really good job of integrating them by directly commenting on the fact that they had kind of treated them as separate entities before. So when they did AVX, they're like, hey, Captain America, how come you never cared about mutants before? Well, the answer is because in his world, they hardly existed. But the comics, played some drama with it and got past that and started to really integrate them more in that universe. But yeah, generally speaking, I think they work better separately. But I have seen it done well, so I'm honestly cool with it either way. I think my preference is probably X-Men as its own world, just because that already has so many characters and it's got so much of its own mythology that when you blend that in with the rest of Marvel, it's very difficult for it not to get convoluted, at least in the whole, well, if you have mutants that are Avengers, then how are they in this place and then in this place? And there's just so much to keep track of. But yeah, I mostly like them separate just because it's so much to keep track of. But I guess, okay, I say that. And then there's also the fact that we do have to sometimes ignore the whole mutant bigotry thing in order to tell other stories with other characters outside of the mutant thing. So you will read a lot of comics that feel like today there are mutants and today there are not mutants. So
yeah. I'm actually going to go in the opposite direction and say I kind of like them being integrated, because I feel like you can do something real. And I don't read Marvel, so maybe this has already been done and I'm just spitballing here on something that's already been done. But I like the idea of they exist in the same universe where people who are superpowered but not called mutants are treated as heroes, kind of like the Fantastic Four type of thing, where everyone loves them and all this kind of stuff. And then you've got the mutants who are called mutants and everyone hates them, and playing off that racism, sexism, whatever ism you want to, compare them to at the time, and pointing out some very obvious hypocrisy, well, you treat this group as superheroes and this group as outcasts and everything. I really like the idea of having those two existing simultaneously and using that as another way of commenting on the racism, sexism, whatever ism metaphor.
That's a really good point. A thing I've never thought about before, though, is when you have so many different people with different opinions on that, you would inevitably probably have some superheroes that were bigoted against mutants, and that immediately would make them unlikable. Yeah. And so in order to be in order to not throw your characters under the bus, you'd have to have pretty much every superhero not feel weird about mutants. And I don't think that's realistic.
No, I'd really like to see a story now where you get the hero who's got superpowers, but no, see, I'm different because I wasn't born with these powers.
Yeah, and maybe he had something in his background that, for good reason, he's maybe not a straight up bigot, but maybe he just feels weird about mutants, and he doesn't like them. And, kind of like, I keep going to Star Trek, but kind of like, Miles O'Brien and DS9 not liking Cardassians because he had bad experiences with the Cardassians. So it's difficult for him to, appreciate, them as people. 2 more minutes. Let's see what we can do.
So you're saying he wasn't keeping up with the Cardassians?
Yeah, I've never heard that before.
I had to throw that one out there.
It's just, no, you didn't. It's just one of the most unfortunate, because that predates the popularity of the Kardashians by 10 years, and it's irritating because no, that's all right. But it's irritating that it comes up so much because it's like that's just one of the most unfortunate like names for a species, and it's a really good name for a species.
Yeah, ever since I first saw the joke made by like George Takei, I just love that joke. I'm a fan of stupid puns like that, so.
I don't buy that he came up with that first, by the way.
No, I'm not saying he came up with it. That's the first place I saw it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But anyway, well, let's do one more.
All right. John Early says, oh, this is a question to me. Sorry, I didn't read it all the way through. It was just the first thing that came up. I'm not being self-aggrandizing, I swear. Do you agree with Cap's opinions on Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2? For the most part, yeah. I like Amazing Spider-Man 2 a little bit more than most people do. But I don't like it. Love it.
What about Amazing Spider-Man 1? Do you agree with my opinion on Amazing Spider-Man 1 that it's built on a series of...
It's built on a web of lies.
Yeah, that it's a kind of... It's one of the best origins, except like in characterization. And like I like the revenge thing. I like that he starts from a revenge place and has to get over that. But it's built on a series of plot conveniences that are really unfortunate.
Yeah, for the most part, I pretty much agree with you. I like the movie, but it's not great.
Because I'm right, Danny.
Opinions are objective, folks.
Not some of mine, man.
I said objective.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. I'm totally
because it's the objectively right opinion to have.
I'm totally kidding. Blue, do you agree? What do I know? I'm a dinosaur. Okay. Anyway,
we don't know the difference between subjectivity and objectivity.
Well, I said one more. You want to do one more real fast?
Yeah, let me scroll back up and find a good one to end on. Sorry, folks.
Hey, Cap, do you agree with Danny's opinions on the Amazing Spider-Man? Yeah, pretty much. I pretty much agree with his. Pretty much agree with me.
Sorry, this is a little embarrassing.
Oh, that's all right. I shouldn't have asked for another question. That was going to be the last one, but
Blue Dragon 5. What true story would you love to write a biopic for?
Wow, that's a great question. Good question. Let me think about it. Like Stan Lee's the obvious choice.
Yeah,
I think really tell a pretty cool choice, a pretty cool story there. I think you could do. There was like a pseudo biographical thing done with Adam West in Return to the Batcave. I think you could do a really good like actual biopic with Adam West, and that would be a thing. My answer is Weird Al.
That's a good one.
Yep,
that's a really good one.
That's my answer.
It'd be really fun to watch just to see who they cast as the people he's parodying, because they'd have like the big montage in that of him calling up Michael Jackson or whoever to get their permission to cover the song in a parody. My answer is Vince McMahon. That's a fascinating story that needs to be told. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to add to it. It's fascinating. If you're not a wrestling fan, Google him because he's the most interesting person in the world, in my opinion.
I'll also throw out Bob Barker.
Yes, that would be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or do like a movie about game show hosts at the same time. Do a thing that has like Bob Barker and Pat Sajak and what's his face from Jeopardy? Like that would be cool, right?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to think. Alex Trebek.
Alex Trebek. Yeah, that'd be interesting, right?
Yeah, I'd more like to see like behind the scenes footage of that to see if they're using one of those long skinny mics as the boom mic.
Oh yeah, sure. Well, anyway,
totally impractical, but it'd be humorous to me.
Well, everybody, thanks as always for watching. Hope you enjoyed the Captain Logan Show. We will be back with you again next Wednesday night at 8 Central to answer more of your questions. Here in a few minutes, I'm gonna run off I'm gonna run off right now. Here in a few minutes, I'm gonna come back with Morphin Mania, and like I said, Mr. Fusion is gonna join us and guest with us. So look forward to that if you want to watch the Power Rangers with us, finishing season 2, or season 1, getting into season 2. We're really excited about it, and we will be back. Me and DJ and Mr. Fusion with that. Danny, thanks for joining me. Thanks for helping out with the show.
Thank you.
Also want to mention what Danny's working on. Danny is working on our official website, and it will be up in the not too distant future. So look forward to that. I have seen previews of it. It looks amazing. I'm really excited to show it to you guys. Danny, thanks for working on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for letting me work on it. It's really fun. I haven't gotten to do a whole lot of web work since I started my new job, really since I graduated, because it's tough to find clients who need a website nowadays. But cheap plug, if anyone needs someone to build a website for them, after the new year, after January, I'll start taking on a client or two, because I've got a full-time job and I don't have a whole lot of time to dedicate to outside graphic design / web design work. But if anyone's got an idea for a website that they need put up in the not too distant future, I guess, hit me up and I'll see what I can do for you.
Yeah, and that's not just a hobby thing for Danny. Like, he went to school for that.
Yeah,
he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I did go to school for that. I work as a graphic designer right now. I'd like to think I'm qualified for it. So
yeah, I have that thought a lot with things I do. I'd like to think I'm qualified for this. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, folks. We'll see you again next time. I am Captain Logan.
And who am I again? Am I Danny? I'm Danny. That's right. I'm Danny.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.